Hello there. My name's Adam Beeson. The film presentation today I'd like to share with you is one of my favorite movies, Blade Runner, a 1982 action noir film directed by Ridley Scott. So this film takes place in the dystopian future of the year 2019. Wait. The main character is the protagonist, I should say, is Deckard, played by Harrison Ford. Now, he is a Blade Runner. It's an assassin sent to kill what are known as replicants. Now, replicants are bioengineered humans. They're robots created to look exactly like human. It's so hard to distinguish that the only known way is to do a void comp test that can sometimes take an hour just to determine if they're human or replicant. These replicants are made to serve a purpose, like being a soldier or a labor worker, and they have no say. They're basically slaves. They also have a very short lifespan. The replicants in the film specifically have only 4 years to live. They're also given memories of a different person, the fake memories of a life they did not live. So, Deckard is assigned to kill 6 replicants that are on Earth illegally. They've rebelled, and both anger that they're slaves and also a desperation for more life because their lives are almost over. So Deckard, at the beginning of the film, he doesn't have any problems killing them. Killing a robot, I mean, it's kind of like turning off a light switch. They're not human, right? So it's fine if you kill them, right? But as he kills them, he starts questioning. Like the first replicant he's killed is this killer. He's already killed some people. He's on a rampage. But then he finds a woman who isn't a killer. She's not even hostile. She's just trying to survive. And Deckard, it's his job. He kills her anyway. She runs away. He shoots her in the back. He also meets another woman called Rachel. He finds out that Rachel is a replicant, but she isn't aware she is. Rachel talks about her life that she lived, but it's not really hers. When Deckard tells her, she doesn't know what to feel. She goes through these stages of denial, but before she even learned that she was a replicant, she already had feelings for Deckard. So it's just complicated for her, and she struggles to figure out what to think. There's a few more subplots in the movie, but skip over them and focus on the main plot. The the leader of the replicants is known as Roy Batty. He's sort of made to be the best soldier possible. And when Deckard finally meets up with Roy's reaching the end of his life. His mind he's going crazy. But in terms of fighting, Deckard can't do anything. Roy is just too strong, too fast, too skilled. Towards the end of the fight, Deckard jumps over a rooftop onto another, but fails, and he starts hanging on to the edge. It's also raining, so he's slipping. And then Roy, he jumps over the rooftop, no problem. And Deckard, he falls off, but Roy grabs and saves Deckard's life. But Roy's life just about ended, and his final words is, "All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain." Deckard leaves Roy, who's dead now, and he goes see Rachel. At this point in the movie, Rachel has accepted who she is. She understands that she has very little life left, but she wants to spend the rest of it with Deckard. And as she's walking away with him, the officer who gave Deckard the assignment, talks to him and says, "Too bad she won't live, but then again, who does?" And there's 3 storytelling elements that I think this movie does fantastically that I like to talk about. Number 1 is dynamic characters. The characters in the movie are constantly changing. Deckard himself has both a outward journey and an inward journey. he journeys to kill these replicants, and like for first time viewers, it's a fun action movie. Yeah, killing robots. But he also struggles internally with the morals. He ends up being okay with killing some questionable, like he really shouldn't have killed them, but he does his job anyway. And then the final one, Rachel, is like he doesn't want to kill Rachel, he's in love with her. And she's not hostile at all. AI in films are often seen as this dangerous inevitability that one day they'll take over humanity. Movies like Terminator or Wall-E. Um, but in this film, AI is seen as the victim. Uh, you know, Rachel is. She just wants to live. She doesn't want to kill. She doesn't want to take over anything. So this film is pretty unique. I don't really know of any other films that portray AI in such a way. I'm going off topic. The fluid characters. Rachel, um, she she also goes on an inward journey. She at the beginning of film, um, she's kind of like this. She doesn't care for. Okay, hold on. Let me think about this. Um, so she starts out, I guess, pretty normal. She does fall in love with Deckard eventually, and she struggles with finding out she's a replicant. She gets really angry. She denies it. Stages of denial. But by the end, she accepts it and decides to leave her well, owner, and stay with Deckard. Even the antagonist, Roy Batty, um, at the beginning of the film, he's kind of like this. He's seen as a threat. He ends up finding his creator and killing him out of frustration. And in the fight with Deckard, because he's at the end of his lifespan, he's losing his mind. He's insane. He's toying with Deckard. He's harming himself. But at the very end, he shows sadness and emotion that the replicants were said not to have. He says all those moments will be lost. He's referring to the moments, the memories that he created himself. He has fake memories, but he can create new ones. And that's important to the film, that memories are sacred. Another point I'd like to say is, um, you should call them dilemmas, or leaving the audience with question. I think some of the best films are the ones that make you think afterwards. It's like, to this day, still think of some old movies like, wow. And this movie in particular has multiple moral dilemmas that they don't really solve themselves, since every character kind of has a different view on them. You're meant to come to your own conclusion. It really makes you think after the film, and I think that's what gives this film so much value. So I've mentioned many times before about, killing robots. Can robots, if they create memories themselves, they're kind of human, right? You really should you treat them well? Should you love them? Should you kill them? It's kind of up to you to decide. And who knows what AI will end up being in the future. Um, and a third point I'd like to point out this film does well is gray characters, or I guess you could say flawed characters. Deckard, okay, I should say, films, there's protagonist who's good, antagonist who's bad, usually. You can make sort of a gray area, and I think this film, it's kind of boring when the protagonist is all good, Superman, Mary Sue, because then, like, oh, they're perfect, so there's no struggle, and without struggle, there's no movie. And this film, Deckard really isn't that good of a guy. I said before about the woman who's not hostile, and he kills her because he's told to. And these replicants, the rebellion against slavery and short life, it's almost understandable, and, you know, they should be receiving aid. The antagonist, Roy Batty, is he really a bad guy? He's rebelling against slavery. I don't know of any other film where the slaves are the antagonist. It's weird, and it's really thought provoking, right? Um, so protagonist and the antagonist. I think in stories, too many times the hero is all good and the villain is all bad. I think gray characters make some of the best films. Um, so I think that's about it. I said, so gray characters. What was I saying? Yeah. So, character development, question, leaving the audience with a question, and gray characters. And I think that's about it. One final thing, off topic, off the paper. No, I don't think. Right, Dickard. I don't think Dickard is a replicant. Explaining would take too long.